Um, what could we include now? So potentially you might want to add, I don't know, instead of restarting the scene, maybe you want to keep this same scene open and have like a score. So every time the player wins, we could add a score. So all we'd need to do is add a new variable into here. I don't know, we might do like private int score, which will start at 0, and then every time the player wins, so we'd find all of the ones where the player wins, and we'd be like score plus plus, add 1 to the score. And of course we'd need a line somewhere in here, just like this one, where it'd be like score text dot text is equal to score dot to string, just like that. Obviously we'd need a reference to the text, so we'd come up here, we'd add a new public text, score text, save. In fact, I've just implemented text into my game. Maybe we could have it -1 when the CPU wins. Draw, we probably wouldn't do anything. Maybe we'd have another counter that registered how many draws occur. Obviously we could add this line into all of the ones where the player wins. Oops. There. Player win. Player win. Score. So when the CPU wins, we'll add the -1. So -1. CPU win. Save. And that would do. So we'd obviously just have to add a new text. So we've obviously got all of these texts. We have these ones, but we need to add a new one that was like score, and we put it here. We might want to use concatenation to be able to write the word score and our actual score. So concatenation, don't forget to have a look at that. We might put a timer on this side. Maybe you have to see how many times you can win in a certain amount of time. A timer would be simply having a like start time, so private float. We could do an integer time, and then we would just do in the update, because obviously this happens every single frame. So you could do time plus equals. So this is add to this. So basically this plus equals means take the current time and add, let's say 1, or add 10. And it will take time plus 10 and set it back to 10. Set it back to be time. So if time was already 1, it would add 10 to it, and that would equal 11. That's what this would do. Obviously, this would happen every single frame. So if this is a 60 frame per second game, in one frame, this number will go up to 600. So probably not going to work. You'd probably need to do float, which is a decimal number, of course, and we'd probably do, like, let's change that to minus. Let's make this like 0.05, so it's much smaller. Let's say time also starts at 100. So this is going to be 100 minus 0.05, which after the first frame would be 99.95, yeah? So that's one frame. Okay, so this error here is just saying you can't, a double is just a regular decimal like this one. A float has to have an F after it. And just for the sake of thingy, you would add a text object again, maybe call it time, put it over here. Again, you could use concatenation that says time and displays the time variable. you would need to use the same line as we used here. Maybe put it there, and this one would be like time text dot text is equal to time dot string, and we could have a little if statement here that's like time is less than 0.0, then the game would be over and it would show some other text. We'd obviously want to set the can restart again so that the game stops, because we have this here. So can restart equals true. We'd probably show the restart text dot enabled equals true. That would bring the restart text up. Yeah, so there's tons you can do here. You could go crazy with this. Obviously these would be quite nice maybe if they animated in. Maybe you could you can select any object. You can go to animation, open the animation window, put that there. So just quickly again, that was Windows, animation, animation window. Select any object, click create, and you can create an animation for it. So I could be like question, and here's your animation timeline. Obviously nothing is being adjusted at the moment, but if I put a property into here, the transform is this thing up in the top right corner where the position, rotation, and scale live. So let's say we do rotation. It'll start like this, and let's say after a minute I want this rotation to be 360. No, can't do 360, can you? You have to do, let's say, 180. And then bring that back down to there. And then copy this one. There. So, why are you not working? Okie dokie. Here's an easy way of doing this. Select the little record button, start at the start by setting it to what you want. So at the start it'll be just straight up, and after one whole frame we want it to go, should cancel that, at 30 seconds we want it to be at 180, and then at 1 second we want it to be back to 0. Cool. Let's say this one here, want it to be 360. Something like that. I don't know. So when the game plays, it will have this weird spinning animation. We could animate the scale. Again, we could use the record button. So at 0 frames, we want it to be this. At 30 frames, we want it to scale out, and then at 0, we want it to go back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, cool. So at that point, I'm going to leave it to you. Yeah, so have a go at trying to add a time maybe on this corner, maybe a score on this one. Try animating some things. Maybe you could make different objects appear instead of simply just them changing green. Maybe they could change to a different thing. Yeah, just play around, try add some new things into the code. Yeah, feel free to give it a go. Maybe if you're feeling really fancy, you could take these annoying 5 lines of code and put them in one method on their own. So let's say we could do like avoid change, like check result, like this. And let's say in these brackets it's going to take in a certain text object, it's going to take in whatever. Yeah, give it a go, have a look online, how to make your own methods, have a look at my previous tutorials to help you out, and yeah, give it a go. Nice one. Any questions? Obviously let me know, send me an email. Alright, thanks a lot.